Good afternoon, everyone. This is Singh, student teacher, B.Ed 4th semester, Army Institute of Education, Greater Noida. Today I am giving my presentation on waste management. So let's proceed. Firstly, we see what we have to cover in this topic, waste management. We will cover introduction, definition, effects of waste, the 3R principle, waste hierarchy chart, methods of waste disposal, waste management policies, and at last, conclusion. Before we start with introduction of waste management, it's prerequisite to know what is waste. So, waste are unwanted or unusable materials. Waste is any substance which is discarded after primary use or is worthless, defective, and of no use. Examples include municipal solid waste, such as household trash, hazardous waste from factories and industries, waste water, such as sewage, which contains bodily waste, radioactive waste, and others. Waste is being generated everywhere. Thus, the process of managing these waste or disposal of these waste known as waste management. So, waste management is all those activities and action required to manage waste from its inception to its final disposal. This include, amongst other things, collection, transport, treatment, and disposal of waste together with monitoring and regulation. It also encompasses the legal and regulatory framework that relates to waste management, encompasses guidance on recycling. Now, according to European Union Directive on Waste, waste management shall mean the collection, transport, recovery, and disposal of waste, including the supervision of such operations and aftercare of disposal sites. However, the newer concepts of waste management talk about reduce, reuse, and recycle of waste over and above waste disposal. Now, if we talk about general definition of waste management, then waste management is collection, transport, processing, recycling of disposal of waste materials. This term usually relates to material produced by human activity and is generally undertaken to reduce effect on health, the environment and aesthetics. Practice of waste management may differ in developing nation to underdeveloping nation, urban to rural area, and residential to industrial setup. Waste management refer to the activities connected with the collection and disposal of waste. Waste management comprises the following activities: waste collection, waste transportation, waste segregation, waste recycling, waste disposal, waste minimization and control. You all are seeing image at right side of the slide. This image depicting the systematic process of how waste management works. All waste dumped in garbage, and after dumping all these waste collected by garbage truck especially designed for this purpose. Transportation of these waste collection to plant. Thereafter, waste process takes place by heating and converting them into useful energy resources such as fuel, gas, and electricity. Now, here we see how waste affects if not managed wisely. Number one effect of waste is bad impact on human health if waste is not managed wisely. In this, improper disposal of waste can greatly affect the health of the population living nearby the polluted area or landfills. Exposure to improperly handled waste can cause skin irritations, blood infections, respiratory problems, growth problems, and even reproductive issues. Second point is impact on animals and marine life. Animals too suffer the effects of pollution caused by improperly disposed waste and rubbish. Animals who consume grasses near contaminated area or landfills are also at risk of poisoning due to the toxin that seep into the soil, and that's how it impacts animal and marine life. Third point, adversely affect the local economy. Everyone wants to stay and live in a healthy, clean, fresh and sanitary place. A city with poor waste management will certainly not attract tourists or investors. Landfill facilities that are mismanaged can cause the local economy to sink. Now move on to fourth point. It causes extreme climate changes. Decomposing waste emits gases that rise the atmosphere and trap heat. Greenhouse gases are one of the major culprits behind the extreme weather changes that the world is experiencing. From extremely strong storms and typhoons, people are experiencing and suffering the negative effects of greenhouse gases. Now move on to last point. It is slowly killing the planet. We only have one planet, and our careless handling of waste is harming it. Taking care of the environment is everyone's responsibility for our planet and for our children. Now we have the 3R principles. One of the ways to put that plan into action is through the 3 R's of waste management. By applying the 3R principles, we can manage waste. Here, reduce means to cut back on the amount of trash we generate. Reuse means to find new ways to use things that otherwise would have been thrown out. And recycling means to turn something old and useless, like plastic milk jugs, into something new and useful, like picnic benches, playground equipment, and recycling bins. Now let's see all 3 R's one by one. Reducing is simply creating less waste. It's the best method for keeping the environment clean. So it's the first of the 3 R's. Ways of reducing waste. Pack your lunch in a lunchbox. Paper and plastic bags create a huge amount of waste, and plastic bags take hundreds of years to decompose. Say no to bottled water. Instead of buying bottled water, use a reusable water bottle. Watch what you buy. When you are in the supermarket, pay attention to the packaging. Bring reusable bags to the grocery store. Most stores sell canvas or durable plastic shopping bags that can be used again and again. Now move on to second R, that is reuse. Reusing is taking old or unwanted items you might otherwise throw away and finding a new use for them. Now here are some items you can reuse. You can reuse envelopes, reuse single-sided paper for scratch paper, use remanufactured or surplus office equipment, use rechargeable batteries, use rechargeable fax and printer cartridge, donate toys and other items to charity so that it can be reused, find a new use for an old items. Now let's move on to third R, that is recycle. Recycling is the last and most commonly used of the three R's. Recycling is changing discarded materials into new products in order to avoid using more virgin resources. Now here are some items which recycle. Corrugated cardboard is recycled into paper bags, paperboard or new cardboard. You can also recycle newspapers, saves limited natural resources. It prevents greenhouse gas emissions and water pollutants. It saves energy, provides raw material for industry and create jobs. It also saves landfill space. Now, waste hierarchy chart. Waste hierarchy is a tool used in the evaluation of processes that protect the environment alongside resource and energy consumption from most favorable to least favorable actions. The hierarchy establishes preferred program priorities based on sustainability. You seeing in figure, in least favored options, we have disposal, energy recovery. Then these options moves to most favored options, that is recycling, reuse, minimization, and one of the most favored option is prevention. That's why we say prevention is better than cure. And that's how waste hierarchy chart works. Now we will see some important methods of waste disposal. Number one is landfill. In this process, the waste that cannot be reused or recycled are separated out and spread as a thin layer in low-lying areas across a city. Now second one is incineration. Incineration is the process of controlled combustion of garbage to reduce it to incombustible matter such as ash and waste gas. This process reduces the volume of waste by 90% and is considered as one of the most hygienic method of waste disposal. Now move on to third one, waste compaction. The waste materials such as cans and plastic bottles are compacted into blocks and sent for recycling. This process prevents the oxidation of metals and reduces airspace need, thus making transportation and positioning easy. Now move on to fourth point, biogas generation. This is the most effective method of waste disposal. Biodegradable waste such as food items, animal waste, or organic industrial waste from food packaging industries are sent to biodegradation plants. In biodegradation plants, they are converted to biogas by degradation with the help of bacteria, fungi, or other microbes. Biogas is generated as a result of this process, which is used as fuel, and the residue is used as manure in agricultural field. Now move on to fifth point, composting. All organic materials decompose with time. Food scraps, yard waste, etc. we throw every day. The process of composting starts with these organic waste being buried under layers of soil and then are left to decay under the action of microorganisms. This results in the formation of nutrient-rich manure. In agriculture, it is the best alternative to chemical fertilizers. Now move on to last point, that is vermicomposting. Vermicomposting is the process of using worms for the degradation of organic matter into nutrient-rich manure. It is also far more effective than traditional composting. Now here are some examples of effective waste management. Making biogas. Biogas can be produced from raw materials such as agricultural waste, manure, municipal waste, plant material, sewage, green waste, or food waste. Now second example is plastic road construction. This is also one of the most effective waste management in which we use plastic waste in construction of roads. Plastic roads mainly use plastic carry bags, disposable cups, plastic bottles that are collected from garbage dumps as an important ingredient of the construction material. That's how both biogas and plastic roads contributes in waste management. Now here are some management policies made by government or by some environmental organization to reduce waste. These policies are as Environment Protection Act 1986, Hazardous Waste Rule 1989, Biomedical Waste Rule 1998, Municipal Waste Solid Waste Rule 2000, Waste Management Act 1996, Solid Waste Policy in India 2006. Now some suggestions for efficient waste management are as follows. Number one, population control can be an effective measure for reducing the solid waste. Second, reducing our consumption rate significantly by purchasing only essential and useful goods would help in reducing the waste. Third one, inventing new waste management technologies will also assist in proper disposal of waste. Fourth one, use your own reusable cloth or jute bags instead of plastic bags whenever you go for shopping. Fifth one, waste minerals or materials have to be recycled. Sixth one, strict laws must be implemented to manage waste. Former policies should be implemented in all government and private offices and must follow 3R principle, that is reduce, reuse, recycle. Now here I am concluding my topic. We have learned that waste management can be defined as the collection, removal, processing and disposal of materials considered waste. Waste can be put into landfills, incinerated, recycled or composted. Modern waste management methods are far safer for people and the environment than past practices. The most sustainable way to manage waste is to recycle and compost. Waste management is an important issue that needs governmental action quickly. At present, there is very little awareness exists regarding this issue in our society. It is very important to educate people and tell them to adopt practices for recycle, reuse, and reduce rather than generating waste. Municipalities and governments should pay importance to disposal of waste. Individual participation is required. So at last, there is no such thing as away. When we throw anything away, it must go somewhere. By Annie Leonard. Thank you and have a nice day.